guys, welcome back to the Supes channel. My name is Supes Ramos, and on this channel I aim to entertain, inform, and inspire using the topic of discussion as always, which is superheroes. So guys, today we have some fantastic news and evidence and everything, including outside rumors that Chris Evans will be returning as Steve Rogers in Avengers Doomsday. And with this video, I now think it is 100% confirmed it's happening, and I'm going to lay out the evidence before you because something crazy happened last night. And so without further ado, let's dive in. But if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification on my channel to get notified for future videos. And with that being said, let's get right to it. So last night, Chris Evans himself decided to make a public appearance for a new movie he has coming out. And you guys can see this is how he's looking right now. Do we even call him Chris Evans? Because that right there is Steve Rogers. He is fully back in his peak Marvel form. And, you know, if we take a look back to how Chris looked 2 months ago for the last movie he had coming out, it's a very different look, but it's like his normal look that he usually carries the majority of the time. But over the last month or so, rumors have been flying around that Chris Evans has been on set filming for Avengers Doomsday. You know, obviously with a film like Doomsday, there's going to be a ton of different rumors for characters that are going to appear in this film. But we've heard from multiple different people that Steve Rogers is going to play somewhat of a role in this film. And one of the roles is that the Russo brothers are going to tie back the events that are happening in Doomsday to the ending of Endgame. You know, one of the things that has been going around is that Doctor Doom is going to be coming after the people who are responsible for directly causing incursions. And Steve Rogers is going to be one of those people because obviously at the end of Endgame, he decides to go back to the past and stay there with Peggy. And in Endgame, Tony Stark says, when you mess with time, time usually tends to mess back. And obviously Steve going back in time and staying with Peggy in the past is going to have huge consequences, or could potentially have huge consequences. And in this case, it will. And that, you know, according to some rumors, that is what is responsible for a lot of incursions happening. So Doom is going to be coming after Steve, and apparently Marvel has been shooting scenes for Doomsday in the old house where they shot the ending of Endgame, where Steve and Peggy are having their dance. So that Steve and Peggy house, they've apparently been shooting scenes in that house, and so Chris Evans is obviously going to be a part of that. He's going to be returning in some capacity as Steve Rogers. We don't know if he's going to be, you know, from what we've heard, he's not going to be, you know, the main character of the movie per se, or one of the main players, but he is going to play a role in this film to some capacity, and we don't know what that's going to look like until the film actually comes out. But the fact of the matter is that Chris Evans is returning as Steve Rogers in Avengers Doomsday, and now with this public outing where he's looking like this, and he's back in his peak Marvel form, face shaved, hair, the Steve hair, it is 100% confirmed that it's happening. Another rumor that's been flying around is that Doctor Doom is going to have his own team of variant characters throughout the multiverse that are on his side and supporting him. Kind of like how Thanos had his Black Order, Doctor Doom is going to have a team similar to that. However, instead of it being just, you know, the Black Order, it's going to be variants of different characters we know and love throughout the multiverse. One of those characters is rumored to be Hydra Captain America. I think that would make a lot of sense if you're going to position someone like Robert Downey Jr., who is playing a villain in this film, and not just any villain, the villain. I think it would make a lot of sense to also include variants of other heroes we know and love as villain variants. You know, because that's the thing, bro, is that we can get Steve Rogers Captain America, but then we can also get Steve Rogers Captain Hydra. Like, we can get both of them at the same time. That's what's interesting about the multiverse, and I think that's what we're going to see a lot of in Doomsday and Secret Wars. Now, you might be asking the question, is Marvel going to announce this, or when is Marvel going to confirm this? I think at some point, I don't think it's going to happen within the next few days, weeks, months. No. When Marvel is ready to finally start promoting Doomsday, they are going to have another cast announcement of some sorts, because this is a gargantuan film. There are going to be a lot of characters in this, and I think Marvel will take the time to announce the other half of the cast, which would include Brie Larson's Captain Marvel, Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, Benedict Cumberbatch's Doctor Strange. Like, there is a ton of different characters that are going to be in trailers, that are going to be a part of the marketing campaign, that just haven't been announced yet. So I think at some point Marvel is going to do another casting announcement, and that is going to end with Chris Evans, who will be finally reunited with Robert Downey Jr. on stage. They're probably going to face off or maybe join forces. I don't know what that's going to look like. And that's when we'll finally get the confirmation that Chris Evans will be returning. But he's going to be kind of like how Marvel did the first casting announcement. Marvel started off that announcement with including a lot of characters we already knew were coming back for Doomsday, but then they started getting to the bigger and bigger and bigger characters like the original X-Men. I think the next casting announcement will probably, I don't necessarily know if they're going to do another Chairs Day, but maybe they do it at the next Comic-Con and they bring out the first half of the cast that are already confirmed, and then one by one they start announcing the rest of the cast, and boom, it ends with Chris Evans right there. The pop that would get at San Diego Comic-Con would be insane, and I think that's probably the most likely thing that will happen. Like I've said, Doomsday and Secret Wars are going to be the biggest Marvel events of our lives, and in order for that to be true, you have to include not only Robert Downey Jr., but the other face that built the MCU, Chris Evans. You know, when it all comes down to it, it was Tony and Steve that were the faces of the MCU throughout that Infinity Saga, and the possibility of Steve returning, reuniting with Sam, Bucky, everyone, Thor, everyone else, and just taking on Doctor Doom, who happens to look like Tony Stark. It's gonna be insane. I also think we're gonna see a good Tony Stark variant in Doomsday, or maybe they save that for Secret Wars. I don't know, but I think at some point we are also going to see Robert Downey Jr. return as Tony Stark, while he's also playing Doctor Doom at the same time. Again, we're going to have actors playing multiple different variants of characters. And Chris Evans, again, with this public outing, looking like freaking Steve Rogers at the end of Avengers Endgame, I think it is 100% happening. And it's exciting, man, because we're going to remember a moment like this and be like, yeah, that's when we knew. That's when we knew before it was 100% confirmed by Marvel themselves. It reminds me a lot of like when all of the No Way Home leaks started coming out and we started being like, oh, Tobey and Andrew are in this movie. I mean, we don't know for sure, but we know. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. That's how I'm feeling right now about Chris Evans returning as Steve Rogers in Avengers Doomsday. But let me know in the comment section down below. Are you guys excited to see Chris Evans return? What do you guys think about this whole situation? And what do you guys want to see from Steve Rogers in Doomsday? With that being said, let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit that bell notification on my channel to get notified for future videos. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching this one. I love you guys 3000. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.